Social media has clearly exploded over the last several years. I mean, how many of us Facebook and use Twitter? It's a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. Now we think of those avenues are purely social, but they can also really help boost your business as well. Joining us is Wendy Forbes, the owner of Wendy92, which is a social media strategy company. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Wendy. Okay, I think you're already on the right track in business if your last name is Forbes. That's got to be a good sign.
I hear that a lot.
Where did Wendy92 come from, by the way? What's 92?
92 is actually the year I graduated from college.
Perfect.
So I had used it online forever. And in branding, you don't want to change your brand. And so since I was already Wendy92 out there on the internet for the long time, I kept it to build on.
That's great. And you say branding, and I would imagine that branding is a big part of the social media strategy. So tell us a little bit about what that means to people, the social media strategy.
Well, a lot of people think that they can just get their grandkid to put up their Facebook page because they're comfortable with the technology.
Right.
And really what you want is to integrate social media, whether it's a Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, into your overall marketing plan.
Okay.
And so that's what I help people do. Take a look at what their goals are in the same way that they would do traditional advertising and marketing.
And there's a way you can do it all together, right? Because when you think about that Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you think, gosh, I have to update this web page, that web page. But isn't there a way you can kind of do it all at once, or kind of?
You can automate some things. So if you upload a new YouTube video, that can update your Twitter status. It can update your Facebook. So you can integrate those things.
Well, I know one of the things even here, what we do is if we have a segment, because we always tell you go to Casa.com after the show and check the segments, they automatically will go to our Facebook page for Casa as well as to YouTube. So they actually distribute to multiple places, which is really nice. It's like Kristen said, it's integrating so much.
It is, and it saves a lot of time too when you're talking about a small business person trying to figure out the overwhelming world of social media and all the places that they can be. There are those little time-saving things that they can do.
And so many people want, I'm sorry, Kristen, so many people want to get ahead in business. So this really seems to be the way to do it is through social media.
It is if you do it right. The one thing that's great about social media is that customers can actually give you feedback. And whereas, if we were to go to a restaurant and have a really great experience, we'd go and we'd tell one of our friends, you tell a friend. With social media, you can tell your entire friend network. And the same thing goes if you have a bad experience. You can tell your entire friend network, but that's actually an opportunity for businesses to get better and be able to respond. Before, these little conversations were happening between people in a vacuum. And, if you're a restaurant, you may not know that everybody hates this particular dish. Or there's a certain issue in the restaurant. Well, now you know, now you can fix it. So it really is an advantage and an opportunity.
It's a really good point. And I think a lot of people want to figure out, why should I personally use social media in my business? So maybe you can talk to the small businesses and tell them why it would help them.
Well, the great thing about social media is that it's made the world smaller. It's really brought us back, even though it's high-tech, to really old-fashioned sort of neighborhood values. And so if you're a small business and you can get the small businesses around you to be on social media, you can support each other that way by sharing fans, sharing customers, and really doing that sort of small town around the town square thing that we used to have in America. Well, now we have it online virtually, and businesses can really take advantage of that, particularly small businesses, because the cost to entry on Facebook is time, which is money, but at least it's not shelling out thousands of dollars for advertising that you're not really sure who's going to see it. Is it really your audience?
Now, how do you get started?
The best way to get started is actually to look at the competition, whether it's here in New Mexico or in other cities, because sometimes New Mexico is a little behind the times, so we jumped onto the social media curve a little bit later than some of the bigger cities. So going to a bigger city and looking at the Facebook pages of your particular industry, seeing what they're doing, seeing what's working, and then get started.
And there's an immediate gratification to all this, which is so nice. And in addition to that, we talk, like, for instance, we're talking to Vernon's today. There are people who may like the New Mexico style show, and they know that we have Vernon's on, so now they like Vernon's. And now all the people that are on that page find out what's going on this page. So, there's so many ways to kind of interact with all the different businesses that you do business with.
Right. It's a great way to share information, whether it's with your vendors, whether it's with, as you said, Vernon's does that all the time, where
Right.
you'll share their information, they'll share your information, and then you're reaching a larger audience, and you're reaching an audience that would actually be interested
Well,
in it.
the thing is, most business owners really have their hands full just running their own business. I mean, that is obviously very time consuming. So how much time does it actually take to stay involved with the social media, and how much work do they actually have to do in their already busy day?
Well, we all had to integrate email, checking our email, and finding time to check email. And this is one more thing, but I think it's one more thing that people can get accustomed to if they start a routine. And the best time really to be on social media is early in the morning.
Really?
Before you go to work, particularly if you have people have kids that they're getting ready for school. If you can do it in your kitchen, on a mobile application, do it before you go to work, and then after work, because most of the people who are checking their social media accounts as customers are doing it first thing in the morning and in the evening, because they can't find time during the workday to do it either.
Well, let's look at an example of a page that we can look at right here. I mean, this I guess this is mine. This is for our host page for the show. So what kind of recommendations would you make to somebody who's sharing a public page for their business and trying to get more people to be on top of it and be a part of it?
Well, I usually recommend the rule of threes. So the first thing is to listen to what other people are saying.
Okay.
The second thing is to share what other people are saying.
Okay.
And the third thing is to then promote yourself. So, I mean, I've looked at your page and I think it looks great because you share things that your guests have talked about. You also share, you know, a few personal tips, and then you also respond to your fans. And so those are really the three things that are the most important things to do.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Really good advice. Well, we really appreciate you joining us today
Thank
because this is obviously information that is going to help all of us as we continue forth in this technology time. And it's only going to get more and more and more, I think.
It's true.
So thank you so
Thank
much
you
for being
very
with us. Wendy92, we appreciate it. And we highly recommend that you get involved in social media to brand your business.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And we've got a lot more coming up. Up next, El Dorado High School Chorus, Gold Rush, Practically Perfect. Stay tuned.